Hey, welcome back to the Dusty Wheel. I'm your host, Innkeeper, and this is your live call-in talk show all about the wheel time. And season 3 wrapped last week, and we weren't here Wednesday night last week, and I was like, Friday morning for me when we got the news, and I was like, okay, we have to go live. So if people were there to catch that, that was a lot of fun. Watching this show up on a random What Friday.
That's a wrap on season 3.
That is a wrap on season 3.
That's a wrap on season 3.
And I'm very, very excited for the audience to see it.
It's going to be big.
All right, so Dan Henney promising that it's going to be big. We did kind of look into that, what we do here, analyze that. There was not much to unblur. We weren't really able to look at the background that well, just because the Twitter video isn't that great and the Instagram video is great, but it's cut off. So it was still fun to look at. But I was like, let's look at some of the things What Series has dropped for us this last few days, and chat about that. I have a few channel stuff that I want to announce. Nothing crazy. I'm not, nothing that's big, but just stuff that I wanted to just talk about. To talk to me about all of that, welcome back out at the inn after a little while, Brian the Gleeman. Brian, how you doing?
What's up, Alex?
Just season 3 wrapped. That's what's up.
It wrapped. There we go. We made it. It's that means what? It airs in like 6 weeks or something.
Yeah, so that it's 24 episodes.
I mean, they would have post-production, post-production, who knows?
I mean, what do you need? Like there's not going to be like big stuff that happens in the Shadow Rising.
No, not at all. I mean, if they wrapped, they can just send it to us. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. We'll do the Shadow Rising book spoilers. So I put that on there. We'll go towards the Shadow Rising because we'll talk season 3 a little bit. The other thing, I'm going to, the call lines are open, so you can call. Just if you have anything to say about anything season 3, otherwise, call. Let us know. We have another guest who's going to join us in just a little bit, so that'll be a lot of fun. I see a lot of people saying hi. Goat Brother's here. Good to see you. A lot of people here. Ooh, I like this. Pro tip: put your video in 2 times speed to catch up if you're lagging. I've definitely done that. It's a weird sensation to then like slow at the end, and you're like, why are they speaking so slow when they're live? Yeah, but it's definitely something. So Brian, what do you know? I know you've been a little busy the last few weeks to month or so. What was the last kind of news that you know? I know we actually did a show here a couple weeks ago where we recapped everything we know about season 3. So why don't you tell me what you know, and then let's I can kind of fill you in.
I know nothing.
You know nothing?
The last thing that I remember seeing. Our another guest is here. It's Kevin. Kevin. What's up, man?
How you doing?
Hello. I'm here, and I am ready for whatever we're talking about right now.
Whatever we're talking about. What we're talking about is that I've been out of the loop.
So I told him this happened.
That's a wrap on season 3.
That is a wrap on season 3.
That I heard.
That's a wrap on season 3.
And I'm very, very excited for the audience to see it.
This video I watched it once. I saw a little bit of Twitter conversation about it. I saw all of Kevin's memes. But that's it. So I haven't talked about it with anyone. The only little tidbit that I caught is that Roz is not wearing blue, which people see is significant for obvious reasons in season 3 and the Shadow Rising. So that's basically all I know about the news in the last couple of weeks.
All right. Okay. I'm gonna. I don't know if you saw this poll. I asked, what will the next official announcement be from the show? Likely at JordanCon. Cast announcement, season 3 release date, season 3 teaser, or a season 2 deleted scene. And I don't know how you guys voted on this, but I'm gonna end this poll. Cast announcement was 42%. There is a release.
That's reasonable.
a release date and teaser. Makes up a good almost 30%, 30+%, which is always interesting. What do you think? Kevin? What are we gonna get?
I think that deleted scene. I mean, the track record tracks as well. We got that last year with some that we already maybe had some hints on from the Watt series crew, and then some that were completely new that they had no idea that they were blindsided by as well. So, I think that cast is probably the most reasonable. There's a very big name that I think that they've been sitting on for a while. I think it'd be the perfect time to drop for a certain antagonist in the next season. So, I think that is 42%. I'm with you guys. It's most likely going to be cast announcement. I love another deleted scenes. I cannot get enough of deleted scenes and blooper reels. So if deleted
Blooper
scene and
reels are
blooper
so
reels,
much fun.
Yeah,
just give them me.
yeah.
I love that stuff.
I mean, I know Rafe has on record said that there is a min deleted scene that explains stuff about her viewings, and
Yep.
a Ingtar deleted scene where he does his kind of salvation moment at the end of the
Yep.
Great Hunt.
How do you do that?
So I think it's like a setting on iOS that if you just make a heart and it'll make a heart.
So it's like the Zoom equivalent of like having a blue speech bubble or something like that, and a blue
Yeah.
text message
Yeah.
for iMessage. Yeah.
Yeah. This is good. This is the
Anyway,
special
the rest of this
Gleeman
the
power.
rest of the stream is going to be us playing around with Zoom gestures and getting some cool backlit effects here. Who cares about season 3? Brian's at a rave.
That's so funny. Anyway, so you're right. 2 years ago at JordanCon 2022, Avienda was announced. That was the announcement for back then. Last year, it was Bain and Chiad, Jay Duffy as Dane Bornhold, Sheriam as what's her name?
Oh, Rima Tiriata.
Yeah, and I think those were the only ones that were announced. But there were a bunch of Q&A questions that Daniel Henney, Sarah, Rafe, the people I mentioned just now, and I think Kate Fleetwood answered, and Jennifer Chen Garcia. So it was like a really 30-minute long video that they posted. It was awesome. So it'd be awesome to just get anything like that.
Yeah.
Although that was a JordanCon just preceding the release of the season, so we kind of have to think of how JordanCon 2022 was, which was a video. Rafe told us about Falm and told us about Avienda. So I would imagine it's going to be similar. I personally have a thing in my head because he always apologizes that he can't be there, that he'll actually be there this time. He's not filming. So let me actually ask this.
Hey, that's something.
Yeah. Take that for whatever it's worth, obviously.
And for what it's worth as well, this is also the first JordanCon to have a cast member in attendance as a special guest. So, I mean, that's a great opening for him to kind of just sneak in, not even register as an official guest, but just kind of show up.
Yeah. That's my prediction. I mean, it's a loony theory maybe, but is Riv going to show up at JordanCon? That's the next poll. We'll see what people say.
Did you see
Brian?
that limo TV thing there last year that was totally Rafe?
It was Todd. It was Todd. I believed it for a second, but it was Todd. Oh, it was so good. So I don't know if people know this, but we had this. As you stand around talking. There's this one door that's by where the convention hall area is, and it's not a normal entrance to that hotel space, but one of Todd, as you know, one of the OG crew here at the Dusty Whale, saw a limo there right before one of the Amazon announcements on the Saturday that it came out, and it was there's someone here. It's maybe Daniel Henney or Rafe, and we for about a couple hours we were believing that a cast member or crew has showed up.
And then there was the fire alarm, and everybody thought, I don't know,
Yeah.
that was kind of a crazy JordanCon last year.
Yeah. Ooh, you're muted.
Muted as
Kev.
well.
We don't have to talk about the fire alarm. I was muted by the powers that be that were trying to
Mm.
Oh yeah,
prevent me
that's
from
right.
saying
That's right.
anything
Yeah. Yeah.
to
I
revealing.
forgot that was you.
We should
I mean, somebody.
we can we don't have to dwell on the fire alarm.
Yeah.
It could have been anybody though, you know.
Yeah. It
Could
could
have
have been
been.
anybody. It could have
Yeah.
been anybody.
Could have been
Josh
Rafe.
is there, Dane from
Maybe Rafe
Pure, it might have
snuck
been
in to
him.
pull the fire alarm and then he left.
Mhm.
There we go. There we go.
All right. So I was going to show a few things here because I said I have some channel updates and it's nothing crazy. I'm just planning shows. So I wanted to. These are not the next few shows that I'm going to do here, but they are the next few shows that I'm planning. It's just to get people excited. This probably will be in the next couple of weeks though. I'm planning a season 3 villains show, theories and predictions, and I didn't realize how amazing this shot turned out to be until I put it on the screen. That what's her name? Magedian's face there is so perfect and funny. But yeah, I was gonna dig into who are the protagonists that are gonna show up in season 3, and kind of talk about those that side of things, because I mean, arguably you can say that the people who've stolen the show in the first couple of seasons have been the protagonists. I mean, not that the antagonists haven't done much, but like Leandrin and Lanfear have been great. What do you think? Who's going to steal the show, Kevin, next from a villain standpoint?
Oof. Honestly, it feels a little bit weird and kind of dirty to say it, but I have like this like weird suspicion that Elida is going to like I had already like kind of resigned myself to be like, all right, she's gonna be, well acted, well played. I'm a little bit nervous though that she's gonna be like a legit scary antagonist, like in the same way that the White Cloaks were kind of made into a formidable force in a way.
Mm-hmm.
I get the feeling that they're gonna be kind of making her a bit more competent, which is scary because that was kind of like
Yeah.
Elida's that was what kept her in check, was her lack of competency.
Her evil power was not being good at
yeah, being a bad administrator and
yeah. Yeah.
So I think that out of even among all the Forsaken, because we're probably going to see Asmodean here and there, potentially here and there. So but I just think that Elida is going to be the one that shocks and surprises people with how well she has come out of the page.
People are mentioning you mean antagonist?
Yeah.
I mean, it depends on which side you're on, right?
Words.
Oh, true, yeah.
So you have to like words can be can mean a lot of things, but yeah. But you're
There's
right.
antagonists and protagonists on both sides.
Yes,
both
exactly.
sides.
Yeah, exactly. But no, I totally agree. Like forget who's the actor is for a second. I think it plays a big role. I don't know. I don't remember. Brian, are you an Elida stan? I know. Matt is not.
Are there Elida stands?
Let's. I think you need.
I don't know about it.
All right,
I think Elida's a very,
I'm gonna give
important character.
Yeah.
I think she's a very important character. I think I kind of think. I mean, I hope that they play up the incompetence angle, but I wonder if that's like a little too subtle or a little too, maybe not subtle, but like nuanced. Like people want to see evil people do evil things, and they don't want to see stupid people do stupid things. Maybe, I don't know. We love Succession, so we saw weaponized incompetence with Succession.
Yeah, with incompetence, sometimes it's less about like the immediate outcome and the long-term losses and gains. So like she looks like a genius in the moment, and then like 3 episodes is like, wow, that was like the biggest mistake.
I mean, I think if they can write Elida's plotline like Succession with like Shiv and Roman and Kendall, and just have the Roys be there, that could be really, really good. The White Cloaks are kind of that on the military side, though, right? Like they're really mostly incompetent bad guys with a handful of really smart people. And in the show, they kind of made them much more competent and much more formidable, like you said. So I kind of think they'll do the same thing for Elida, which is probably a missed opportunity. But if they can do it, the way that you and I are thinking about it, I
Mm-hmm.
think they'll really nail it, and it'll be really powerful. Draw a lot of parallels to like Succession and other shows where you have a bad guy that's not. They don't know that they don't think they're the bad guy. They think they're the good guy, but not in the like James Bond villain way, but in the you know uh, dumb CEO way. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I
The
mean,
person who failed out.
I don't know who's seen Succession here, but if you want a Roman Elida, that would be awesome. Yes, I would totally be. I'm actually I'm not an Elida stan, but I think probably one of the most enjoyable chapters to read have been when Elida has been on on screen, like in book one.
Totally.
When she was there, it was just a big thing. When she was in the tower, huge things happened. Her scenes with Egwene are just like one of my favorite White Tower stuff ever. So she's important, right? I like, yes, Rafe is definitely going to make us love Lyda, right? Yeah.
Nerdy Guns, yeah, definitely gonna make us love Elida.
Yeah.
And like, I do not want to love Elida. I'm sorry. Like, if you do the Leandrin treatment to Elida, I will be pissed off. Unless it's Shoya, in which case I love her all the time. So
yeah. I'm gonna end this poll. See what people are saying about Rafe showing up. Wow. How 44% are saying yes.
Wow.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Okay. Good.
good for you, everybody. Good for you.
The
44%.
optimism of the fandom. It's awesome. I think this is an easy question. Are you an Elida stan? When you put stan like that, do you like?
ST.
No, I know. But like, do you like put a space in between or no? No. Right?
Elidistan? Yeah. That would be like a country in
the
Middle East.
That's a country in the Middle East.
That is what Elida would call the White Tower after she had built her tower.
Give her long enough.
Are you an Elida stan?
Yeah.
Let's see what people say to that. It'll be interesting. I'd be interested to hear that. So, that's one. I'll share a few more shows that I'm planning down the road in the next few weeks. So these are the, we've had, I don't know, Brian, I know you haven't been in the loop. How many episode titles do you think we know from season 3?
6.
Oh wow,
I don't know.
We knew 2, and now we know. Now we know 2 more. Before, and I'm going to show you them, and then I'll show you something else. So let's look at these. These are the ones that we know. So the first one, this was back in October from what series? From the WGA website, To Race the Shadow. It was written by Justine Jewel Gilmer, and she's been a writer on the show since the start. This is The Dragon Reborn, Chapter 47. This refers to... this chapter is basically a Matt chapter in Camelin when he overhears...
it's Ravi. The plan, yeah.
Not this. Shogun to spoilers. Let's
okay.
do the fires of heaven because that's it's gonna come up. So let's do the end of Fires of Heaven. If you have not read that, we will be talking about that. So that's the first one, To Race the Shadow, right? There can be a number of things, but I think, does that mean we're going to start seeing Forsaken kind of right away? Is that like
Absolutely. I think it's actually think it's a typo, and what it is we're gonna have a flashback where Agenor inventing the elevator to literally raise the shadow.
To raise the shadow. Yeah, okay. And so that's 301. Let me make sure I'm able to show. Yep. And
it fits in well with the start of the
reference to the Dark One resurrecting the dead.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I was gonna say it's similar to the beginning of Shadow Rising.
It's a marathon.
Yeah, well, ran at the beginning of the Shadow Rising, like as I have to do like a crazy plan to go where they don't expect. So I feel like it's a good reference to that kind of start of that plot line where he's like, I just got to get somewhere really far away, and that's kind of why he decides to go to the waste the way he
Yeah.
does. So
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting how the movements are going to be, where they're going to start, because they need to be going to a lot of different places. So 302, which we found out just this past week, is A Question of Crimson, written by Catherine B. McKenna, again from the WGA website. This is chapter 33 from the Fires of Heaven. And I am now forgetting
such a good one.
which one is this? I just want to be
This
sure.
is Vale and Luca, baby.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. I wanted to be sure that's what it is, but
It's it's the start of that plot line. Oh, it's
but A Question of Crimson, right? Like Crimson, that's an Elida reference. I mean,
yeah, probably.
That has
Camelin.
to be Camelin and Elida,
Yeah.
right? So I think the first one may focus on our five main characters, maybe Lan and Moraine, and what's going to happen with them. But I think then moving on, they're going to start looking into Elida and what happens with that. It'll be interesting how that happens. We then know episode 7, and episode 7 is Golden Eyes, written by Dave Hill, again from the WGA website. This is the Shadow Rising.
Finally, the James Bond episode we've been waiting for.
That's a typo. It's the 3 is a 0, but it's the Shadow Rising chapter 56. Now this is no mistaking which chapter this is. This is the actual Battle of the Two Rivers, and really the end of it. There's a Perrin point of view, and there's a Fane point of view, I think, towards the end of it, as he's seeing the Trollocs, and the White Cloaks be defeated. So I think that's going to be an interesting. I think this is going to be the Perrin episode. They've said they've decided to do 2 character episodes a season now. They did Moraine in season 1, and then they did episode 3 with Nynaeve and episode 6 with Egwene. I think this is the Perrin kind of episode, and the last one is again He Who Comes with the Dawn, right? Again, Justine Jewel Gilmer, Shadow Rising, chapter 34. This might be the Rand episode. It's hard to know. If this is the, what happens in Ruidian versus the end of book 4. If this is this is likely not that. This is probably the Alkir Dal kind of thing, right, Kevin? As opposed to the glass columns. What do you think?
Yeah, that's what I figured as well. It's interesting that like they've kind of broken their theme of what they've done for the past couple of seasons, where they are tying it in those last 2, it's seemingly to the real chapters, or at least closer than they typically have been. Like they're usually like kind of cleverly twisted in a way that you didn't expect. So to have those last 2 kind of be so on the nose is a little bit interesting. But yeah, I think like you're saying though, I don't think that's to say that Ruidian isn't happening until the last episode of the season. It's just likely going to be in the Alkir Dell stuff, or it's wherever that location is where he gathers them, whatever that might be.
Right, exactly. However they end up
Yeah.
doing that, yeah. So I did kind of preface that we talk about this, and I like that you said that's too on the nose with those episode titles. They haven't done that maybe as much previously, and are they doing it now? There was maybe some discourse on Twitter, but on TikTok. Sarah Nakamura actually said this, so I thought this would be interesting to share. This is kind of, it starts with a critter TikTok that I think she's referencing to, so let's play this.
No better time to address this question because we just found out 2 more episode titles.
Okay, so I don't want to be a Debbie Downer here. However, because there has been discussion about potential episode titles, I do want to point something out, which is that occasionally we will use placeholders in the name of the episode or what the episode might be called, especially because we do know how incredible our fans are at finding publicly available information. And so just throwing it out there, just because it's currently listed doesn't mean that it'll stay that way. So
Wink, wink.
don't want to burst any bubbles, but it's just that's something that occasionally can happen.
All right, so
That is so funny to me. That is so funny.
I mean, I love it. It's like what series, you guys are awesome. You find everything, but I think this isn't it. So I'm gonna end this poll. Are you gonna allow to stand? Wow. Okay. This is much more one-sided than I thought. About 23% saying yes. Okay. I mean, maybe Stan is just too much. Maybe they like Elida, and yeah, I think it's just too strong. Maybe they're like, we're indifferent, or she's okay. So I think the poll is, are these the actual episode titles? All right. Yeah.
It's so funny because you can tell, like, there's this hint of like, you guys are a little bit too good at finding stuff. Like, come on, guys, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
Here's my question. Who cares about the titles? Like,
oh yeah,
why would you change the title of an episode after you've written it? Like, it's not like you're publishing a book, and like, it's not like anybody actually cares what the episode title is, except
just
for,
us.
like, us. But like,
what are you talking about? We're talking about
freaks.
Do you know what like the third episode of season 3 of Succession is called? No, you don't.
Yeah, but I don't care about Succession. It probably doesn't have a name.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, so like, even if they gave us like 4, even if we had these 4, and even if 2 of them or 3 of them or not, like, why would you change it later unless you just want to mess with us?
Right.
Not to make everything about me, but I think
don't you know that every single episode there's a puzzle within all of the episode titles, and so they have to change the names of them depending on when they release it, so that in the end the puzzle all comes together and all the pieces. I have no idea.
I'm not saying like we don't care about it. I'm just saying like, why would the writers change it? Like, the writers don't like. Maybe this is a question for Ali and Gus or something, but like, why would how much does a writer actually care about the title of their episode? I don't know. My question is,
I'm sure
Sarah, why would you change the title? After it's been written.
Maybe you didn't think about this, Brian. Maybe someone with golden eyes killed their dog or something like that. You ever think about that?
That would be. Yeah, that would explain it. Yeah.
That's one reason why you might.
Yeah, it's possible.
Or maybe if like someone came on you in the morning or something like that and you didn't like it.
Ooh, Stanley here with the so far the episode telephone on the WG website prior to the season dropping have been 100% correct.
Other than the
weird ones. Yeah, I need to go find what those.
What was it? It was like misspelled Damane or something like that.
Yeah,
as well.
yeah.
Demane.
I don't know if those were from WGA though. I don't know where they were from. Yeah, I don't recall exactly.
Maybe that was sarcasm.
Yeah, maybe it was. But hey, I think this, Brian, the reason it's important is because we can map out the season based on the episode title.
Obviously,
it's only for us.
Watch it.
But there's like, just like taking this like seriously as like an academic discussion here. Like, if you were going to write a show of like Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit or something, like the first episode is like in the Shire, the last episode is the Battle of the Five Armies or whatever, right? Like they can be very descriptive, and they don't have to have like any hidden meaning, because they're just telling you where you are in the plot. So if I'm a writer and I write these, like Sarah's suggesting sort of that like these placeholder titles, and like they're going to put real titles later, but like why would you do that?
It's like hedging our bets in a way.
What's wrong with the title here? And unless they just completely rewrite it and change the plot, right? Like, maybe look, they decide, look, he who comes with the dawn is actually
I mean,
we're
like,
gonna wait till season 4 to see that, and they're gonna change it, and now it's gonna be he who stands in the columns at Viridian
right,
or something, right? And then
right.
you
So
get
I understand what you're saying. Like the episode title probably doesn't mean anything to the success, to the workings of the show, other than it matters to, it's not like a book. Like a book title matters, right? But I'm sure the writer, their episode title matters. So I think they may feel after a while that this is what I think the name of this, but they might find something better to name it, right?
I feel like Sarah's suggesting, though, that we can't read too much into these titles, because what we think that episode is going to be about is not what it's going to be about because
Oh,
of
okay.
the title,
That's fair.
right?
I think that's
Yeah.
fair.
Okay. Yeah.
Maybe she saw people thinking that they were ending in Ruidian with the columns, and she was like, "Oh,
Right.
I don't want people to think that we're not
Right,
covering
right,
the
exactly.
entirety of the Shadow
Yeah.
Rising."
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Something
okay.
like
Yeah.
that.
I mean, I personally think episode 4 is going to be titled Rudian because it's going to be the Glass Columns episode. That's again just
That would be cool.
Yeah,
It'd be a
I think
smart
that would
episode,
be
yeah.
a perfect mid-season kind of peak to have. So anyway, so those
I'm
are
just looking
episode
forward to
titles.
the episode titled "You No."
Yeah, exactly. That would be a fun episode title. Who killed blank? That's the episode
Oh.
title. Yeah.
Clue. It's just a Clue episode.
Who killed ...
There's actually 8 alternate endings depending on which, what day of the week you're watching it on. That would be cool.
Like that.
Yeah, yeah. Let me see. People were talking about what idol in the chat. So I was like,
Who?
well, I think it's important. Maybe I don't know if Brian you saw this or other people, but yeah, this. Why don't you look at this? So yeah, Lauren, John, and I had sat down. I forget when, and started chatting about What Idol. I've spoke to Matt for a little bit too, and we're hoping in the next 4 weeks to have, by the end of the next 4 weeks, I would imagine, by the end of April or so, to have have the submissions open, have a timeline of how things are going to pan out. So if you're thinking about What Idol, you're thinking about doing a parody, check out the What Idol website and see what people have done in the past. If you've done a parody in the past, you know how wonderfully fun this is. So join, have fun both watching it, but also being a participant. We have a few things that we might change or have new rules and things like that. We haven't finalized anything, but I think it'll be a lot of fun. It always has been for the last 3 years now, so that would be awesome. Yes. I don't know if you both heard the music on that. You did not, right? Yeah. It was the Cheers music. So, I mean, this where everybody knows your name, right? I mean, that's the feel of What Idol.
And we're always glad you came with the dawn.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So the other thing that I think this is probably a good time to show our next. Let me just open up the call lines if someone wants to call in. Oh, maybe there is someone waiting.
Oh my gosh, we're a call-in talk show?
Yeah, we are a call-in talk show. So 313-TALK-WOT, 313-825-5968. I see someone waiting there. I'll bring you in just a second. Let me show you what I'm planning again, down the road in the next few weeks. So that was number 1 there, Student 3 Villains. This one we've shown before, the Water Bond and the Aes Sedai. And I think that's going to be a really cool one to dig into, both from a book perspective and maybe towards the end talk about the show and how much they've highlighted that and how it might become more and more relevant in the show, especially because they might start showing our main characters. Think about the water bond too. Right now, it's only land and marine, but I can easily see them being like, okay, let's do that. I like. Wow. That's I like
What?
I this no I think this is I'll own up to that.
Ageism is what it is. It's
No,
ageism.
I'll own up to that because I think I'm trying to remember what it was that people were talking about and just went over my head. But no, I know Ted Danson, right? Have I
Wow.
been
You
to
know,
the?
you know how many pop culture references I've made that just gone completely over your head, but you know who Ted Danson is and that he was on Cheers? That's crazy, dude.
um, I don't think I've been to. I think isn't there an actual Cheers like bar?
Yeah.
Yeah,
In
yeah.
Boston.
Boston.
I
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
I know. I think I've seen it. Yeah, people talking about the artwork there. Yes, Corey's artwork is amazing. It slaps. He check
The
him
Cheers?
out. For the
So he
for
did the water bond art. I
the
think.
water bond.
Oh, okay.
That's
Yeah,
All
right.
right,
that
thank
art.
you. Yes, you're right.
Yes.
Yes,
For
that
myself.
is great art. Oh, so
Um,
you guys switched. Oh.
All right, let's talk about the other thing.
Now we need to
that-
get Corey to make real-time fan art based on the Cheers characters.
Yes, I'd love that.
that
We need to do a fan casting episode. Who is, who does Woody's character?
Yeah, who's Norm?
Who is
Yeah,
Frasier? Who is,
let's see. Yep. All right.
Who's
okay.
Daphne?
Daphne? Yeah, there you go.
I know this is not a Seattle radio show host or whatever Fraser is.
Oh yeah, that's a phrase. She's is she in Cheers? I don't even know. I'm too young to know that for sure.
I know.
Daphne
I am.
Frasier, yeah, no.
I've watched a bit of Frasier.
Frasier was in Cheers, and then he.
Yeah.
I know, but like, I didn't know if Daphne
Frasier,
was.
yeah. Yeah.
Maybe she was. Yeah. Hey, so again, I'm showing my age, I guess. But yeah, this is the other drop that they had. They had a new cast that is announced. So I think that's Anya Morrison. I could be saying that wrong, to appear in season 3 of The Wheel of Time. And what they've shown is on the right there is the actress who played Latra Decum. I always mess up her name, but well, she's the actor on the left is on their CV is cast as just Latra, and what we know based on this that Katie Braben, who played her in episode 8 of season 1, still had a updated CV from 2024 that showed that she is still cast as Latra. So this is kind of what they showed. They said in 2021, captured October 30, 2021, that Latra Decum is, going to be the Wheel of Time. And then in 2024, there's going to be recurring, again, captures of Katie Braben, who played that role 3 years ago now, is going to be recurring. But we have another actor who is going to play the same role. So what do you think? How do you think they're going to make this kind of work? Kevin, let me go to you first. As far as
I think where my first thought was, and I think I saw a couple people saying this in the comments of that article being posted as well, is it would make great kind of storytelling sense if she was the Aes Sedai and Ruidian that gives them the prophecy of the Aiel. I think that's a perfect place to slot her in. They've already shown her to us. We're probably going to see her in another flashback in season 3, so it'll be really good to just kind of nail down the timeline and show like how long lived, really demonstrate for the audience for the first time like the true lengths of a Aes Sedai's life. Like that would be hundreds of years past the breaking when that happened. So I think that there's plenty of like lore stuff that can be kind of embedded into it without ever saying it, but I think it's just storytelling wise, why wouldn't you? If you had to pick an Aes Sedai to do that, it makes sense to have it be her. So
Yeah, totally. You've seen that. Let me bring our caller and ask them how they think this character is going to be put in. So, hey, welcome to the Dusty Wheel. Who's this?
This is Dave. I'm actually on my way out.
Hi,
I'm
Dave.
heading down to a. Hi. Yeah, I'm heading. I'm actually on the phone. I'm
So-
picking a little. There's a little. No, go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, we were talking about this new casting for Latra Posey de Cum, who we saw in season 1, kind of having an argument with Luther and Telamon, and we're trying to figure out, she's going to be a recurring character, but also have another actor playing them who looks much older, and how they're going to do that. Do you have any thoughts on that, or were you calling for another topic or comment?
I had thoughts about something else about. I'm gonna kind of go along the lines of assuming. Look out, Sarah. Sarah, watch your head. Sorry, Sarah's my little birdie, so I'm trying to keep her from getting hurt. So. Look out, Sarah. Yeah, trying to. Anyway, I think what's going to happen is that it's going to be some foreshadowing to what happens with the big M in a certain book. I won't say which one, but I think people know what I'm talking about. So,
yeah.
So there's a very bad thing that happens to one of the characters, and they know what I'm talking about in book 5. So
yes, yeah.
So I think it's going to be foreshadowed in the next season. So at least once, but probably not with who we expect. It'll probably be somebody else. Oh damn! I gotta watch out for those mosquitoes.
Yeah, no, you're right. I think there's definitely theories out there regarding. I think Rafe even back in 2021 said in season 3 there's going to be someone who dies, and I think that's something that a lot of fans have been theorizing about. And could it be again? I have the spoiler banner on the side there that we're talking up to the Fires of Heaven. So yes, we know Moraine disappears through the Twisted Redstone door frame, and that might be something that they bring forward. And that's a theory that's been going around a little bit more recently too, with certain news about the actor who plays Rosamund Pike kind of moving and things like that. So I think that is something that is a strong possibility that they either foreshadow it or actually end up showing it.
They'll probably also foreshadow the shall we say, the disappearance as well. It might be in I think the logical action would be, of course, dream sequence, but that's just a guess. And what they might do, she got loose, right? Sarah, watch that. That's okay. She's in the car with me. She can't go anywhere. You might hear her sing, or say hello or something like that. She likes to sing a lot. So.
For sure. I think that there's going to be people who potentially die or have more and more, things happen that they might just foreshadow. It's really hard to know. But Dave, thank you so much for calling. We're going to continue to talk about season 3. Hopefully, it comes out by this time next year, but we're probably thinking fall of next year is when it actually ends up airing.
Okay, I appreciate it. Yeah, she's on my head right now, so ouch.
Okay. All right.
That's okay.
All right, you take care now, all right? And we'll chat to you soon.
All right,
take
you
care.
too.
All right.
Yeah,
Bye-bye.
yeah, thanks. Bye.
Bye. Yeah, I mean, I think we spoke about this. I'm trying to remember now when, but when Rosamund put up that post about her, or she in an interview said she's moving away from um, uh, Prague, that she might not make it past season 3. We don't know. I mean, it's a big bill character actor. It'd be great to have somehow continue her. Brian, a simple yes or no: is Moraine going to go away or die in season 3?
Yes.
Okay. All right, Kevin.
No.
No. Okay. All right. Split decision. I am going to say yes. I think it just makes for a.
I'm outvoted. No.
My vote doesn't count. All right. Okay. So we talked about the actor who's playing the two different people who's going to play Latra. Well, how do we know about her? So I was like, let's look back at something that, again, I'm sure fans here, we're hardcore fan freaks, we've seen this. But I thought maybe it'd be fun to just look back at where we first kind of heard about her. And it's actually the strike at Shale Ghoul. It was initially it was an illustrated guide to the Wheel of Time in 1997. And then you can now find it, someone in the chat put the Dragonmount link to the strike at Shale Ghoul. This is written by Robert Jordan. This is canon as far as we're concerned, and this is actually taken from a book that is in world, so it's kind of similar to maybe the Big White Book. So take it for what it's worth, because it's a retelling and a history retelling. But this is the Strike at Shale Ghoul, a preliminary introduction by Joril Mondevin, who is the royal historian to the court of Her Most Illuminated Majesty, Etheniel Kirukon Materasu, by the blessing of the light, Queen of Candor, not Andor, protector of the land, shield of the north, high seat of the house Materasu. So and I'll get into a couple of different things from the Strike at Shale Ghoul that kind of tell us who she is, but it kind of fits a lot with what we saw in that one interaction in episode 8. So Brian, if you don't mind reading this next part, and then we can chat about it.
Want me to read that?
Can you read that?
Words, man. Okay.
You love reading, don't you?
I do. Out loud, though? That's like next level stuff. Okay. Support for the use of the Great Sangreal and opposition to attempting to implant the seal centered around a woman named Latra Posey Decum. Apparently a speaker of considerable force and persuasion, she gathered a large block around her. But what assured her victory was an agreement she reached with every female Aes Sedai of significant strength on the side of the light. In the manuscript, this agreement is called the Fateful Concord, though it is doubtful that this was the name it was generally known. Luz Theron's plan was too rash, too dangerous, and no woman who agreed to the Concord would take part in it, as precise placement of the seals was widely thought to require a circle that apparently killed the plan, since men cannot create a circle, but can only be brought into one created by women. Work on the Sangreal in the form of 2 huge statues was rushed forward.
All right, so
the Strike at Shale Ghoul.
Nice, thank you. So the fateful Concord, right? The agreement that was made, and talk about the seals and all that. So do you think we're going to get some of this background, given that we're seeing 2 actors playing this role, or are they going to just use this? Because we did see the seals, we saw the seals broken, we know there are going to be multiple Forsaken out. Do you think this will be further expanded on, and specifically 2 huge statues, right? Like, do you think those things are going to come into it, Kevin? What do you think?
I think that it's those are kind of like a really big a big deal as far as the expectations and the impact on the story, and what the what would happen if those were not in this show, in this, and it maybe not exactly 1-to-1 scale, but having the JordanCon in there is just like, if they were going to introduce it and it wasn't last season when they were on that big overlook over Kyrian. It's this season. You have to basically, it has to be introduced. From my perspective, at least in the terms of like how often it's used and when it's used in the arc of the entire story itself. This would be the right season to introduce it, or at least give hints of it, the scale of it, the power of it, why it's dangerous, maybe the purpose in those flashbacks. Some of that, none of that, or a pinch of that. I think that you've got to see that there is something like that. These weapons of mass destruction scale of Sangreal, that they exist. And I wouldn't even be surprised if we see like Rand's kind of mid-series arc, be around hiding them and trying to keep them out of the hands of the shadow, something like that. I could see that being, a big kind of thing that he does.
Right. It's so interesting, right? The fact that the seals are broken, and are there other seals? Like how that metaphysically works in the show now is it's its own thing, right? We don't know. Brian, what do you think? I think the poll question, I'll have you answer this. Are these the actual episode titles? It seems to be pretty 50-50 vote on this. So are we going to see the JordanCon? Probably misspelled that, but I'm gonna trust myself here.
Make it a dusty poll.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. It's usually so. This is the makings of a dusty poll. Like, you can't know it before you post it.
I know.
That's the importance. Are we going to see the
spontaneous instantiation of a dusty poll?
Yes. Yeah. Are we going to see the JordanCon in season 3? Yes. Okay.
So I think it would be great if we could get the background of the strike at Sheolgul. And I think we need the JordanCon. We need to see. Let's see if I can put it this way. One thing we haven't really seen so far is the true danger of the One Power. We've seen Leandrin throw Nynaeve around. We've seen Nynaeve blow up stuff. We've seen them like destroy like a little army of Trollocs at the end of season 1. Like there's been this like one person killing a bunch of people kind of thing, but we haven't seen something that threatens the world. Right? We haven't seen like the equivalent of the atomic bomb, right? And I think in order to explain to the readers why Rand going mad and Logain's insanity and so on, like why that's bad, is because somebody like them can blow up the world. And how are they going to do that? They need a weapon of mass destruction. And so I think we do need some version of the strike at Sheolgul to see like this was their plan. They were going to do this without the women, and they made these statues and whatever. And there has to be, in order to really build suspense and tension in a world-ending way, there has to be a threat to the world. And right now, we've only really seen threats to individuals. We've seen threats to Rand. We've seen threats to Egwene. We've seen threats to Moraine and Lan and Mat. But we haven't seen like the entirety of Caemlyn could be destroyed in a heartbeat, right? The entirety of Tar-Valon could be destroyed in a heartbeat. We haven't seen that, and I think that we need to see that. I think we need to see something that raises the stakes and says this isn't just a couple of farm boys fighting in wars. This is like the world is the stage.
Yeah.
And I think we need to see that.
Right. Sad to see you go, Carrie, but we are only doing up until the end of book 5, and obviously this little excerpt is kind of pre-book. A lot of it is not. It's kind of things that we know only outside of the books. The Strike at Sheolgul. I don't know if there's a reading order to it. It might be kind of mid-book, so book 6, 7. But in terms of actual book stuff, we're staying at book 5 as far as spoilers go. But yeah, totally. I think especially for a TV show, right, Brian? Like, we need to. How do you make the stakes even higher? Like, yes, Lanfear blowing up the Foregate, okay. Like, but what's next? Like, how do you go more than that?
Yeah.
There's Trollocs or Fades, like, what's the next thing? And I think that's probably going to be. The Children Call is something that has hinted at as the strongest kind of
like they've hinted at like Rand going mad. We've seen Logain, like people accuse him of being mad. We saw all those crazy people in the asylum, but we haven't really. I don't think it's really clear to
the
people
breaking
why
right.
that's bad.
Yeah.
Why is it bad that Rand might go crazy?
Yeah. Other than
Logain
that,
didn't blow up. Logain didn't blow up. Cameron. So why is going mad a bad thing for our main characters?
Right. Yeah, and I think they've talked about that personal kin, your kin and hurting your loved ones aspect of it, but that's not the only thing. It's much more bigger than that. And I think Rand at this point, now that he's coming into being the Dragon Reborn, I think that's the things that he's going to realize is this is not me fighting people or monsters. It's bigger than that.
It's interesting because even like you said, like at the end of the episode or even end of the season, Lan kind of admonishes him for thinking so selfishly about if I go mad, I kill the people I love. But it's bigger than that. Like it's not just about the people you actually care about. You have to care about killing the people you don't care about too. Like it's I think that is a good hint that what we've been seeing from the madness side, everything that we've seen from Rand's perspective. It's small change, it's chump change compared to like the real scale.
Yeah, totally. So I mean, I've read this a few times, but I read this again, and I was like, this is some really cool stuff. So I'll read this for you guys. This is towards the end. It's I think one of the footnotes from the strike at Shilgul. Before her death during the breaking, which cannot be specified from the evidence of the manuscript, unfortunately either as to time or place, Latrap Jose apparently rose to a prominence which rivaled that of Lews Therin before her. During the fighting against the Shadowsworn before the breaking put an end to what by that time seemed inconsequential by comparison, she gained the name Shadar Nor, best translated as cutter of the shadow, or perhaps slicer of the shadow. The difficulties of precise translation from the old tongue with all its multiple meanings will always remain with us. It is thus ironic that no other document yet discovered so much as mentions her name or accomplishments. Perhaps this will serve to restore Latrap Jose de Cum to her proper place in history. I mean, slicer of shadow, like
that's pretty cool.
That's like if that is kind of the dragon and the slicer of shadow, like what more do you want? or Shadar Nor, as she was called. So yeah, it'd be cool. I don't know if that would be something that they use, but I think that puts into perspective why they're giving, I think, some of this importance to a character that a lot of people were like, well, do you even remember them from the books? I actually don't know if the name was actually mentioned in the text of the books. I have to, if someone can put it in chat. Probably not. If it's not in the first 5 books, don't do it. I know it's not in book 4. I checked that earlier today. So I think, having, there are different ways they can end up using her, but I think it'll be good storytelling to incorporate some of this kind of angst or fighting that happened between LTT and Latrap back in the day. I think Alexander Karim, who plays Lews Therin Telamon, has been seen in South Africa, so I think that would be, again, flashback sequences abound. I don't know if that's going to be Ruidian class columns or something else, which I think is a good segue to talk about this upcoming I'm going to do a reflection on the glass columns and just talk about the Terangrial.
Reflection, huh?
Yeah, exactly. The glass columns that we see in Rudian in book 4. And before I talk more, I'm going to put up full book spoilers for just a little bit, because I think it's important when we talk about the glass columns in Rudian. We see this in a couple of episodes. I think it's a couple of chapters in the Shadow Rising when Rand goes through them, and we find out about the Aiel history as far as back as the Age of Legends. But in Towers of Midnight, I'm pretty sure Towers of Midnight, Avienda goes through them again and sees the future. So I think there's so many cool things that they can do. So I think the question I was going to ask is, sure, the glass columns are awesome. The Shadow Rising was awesome. Is there any way they're going to somehow show us future visions with the glass columns in season 3? Ryan.
I don't think they're going to do that.
Okay. All right. No, I think like is there going to be a season 4? Is there going to be season 8? We don't know, right? So these are the sort of things I was like, how can you incorporate really cool things earlier and just be like, show us visions in the future?
They've avoided doing future looks so far. And I think for very good reason. Like, imagine you film something now and you put it in as like a prophecy or like a future thing,
right?
And you get there and like for budgetary reasons or for writing reasons, you can't include that plot line or that scene. That's very difficult to do, I think, especially on a series like this. It's not guaranteed to get that far. And I would just be very, very surprised if they do flash forwards.
Pretty cool show that, by the way. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. And instead, what I think they might do is what Robert Jordan did very frequently, which was more like prophecies. Like they might introduce a new prophecy, or they might, like, somebody might have a dream and then we don't see the dream and they wake up and they say, I dreamed this thing, or something like that. I think we might see they might hedge their bets a little bit. But I'd be very surprised if like they go into glass columns and they see anything in the future, or Matt goes to the Fens and we see anything in the future. I think we'll get hints and we'll get prophecies and we'll get things like that, but I don't think anything that they can't take back later.
Right. Yeah. I mean, the other thing that happens is Moraine goes through the rings, right? And then Moraine learns a lot from the rings and a lot from the Finns. It made it rhyme there, I think. But like, how are we going to get that? Because at this moment, Moraine doesn't seem like she knows what's going on. So I think that's one of the things from prophecies and things like that. How does Moraine learn some of that? And is it important for Moraine to learn some of those things in the fight now? Because all the Forsaken are loose. Kevin, any thoughts? Like, how do they get this in? I mean, they have Min. And that's about it, and not really much more from a prophecy looking forward standpoint.
Yeah, we might get like I would be shocked if we didn't get a couple of classic trademark Elida prophecies and interpretations.
Like the foretelling,
yeah, that's a good shot for this season. And then, like you said, with the rings, like when Rafe teased that we reused the same room in season 3 with like the testing chamber. I always assumed my first theory was that those were also going to be the same type of ter'angreal used in Viridian for the rings, because it's basically like the accepted test for the wise ones anyway. So why not use the same ter'angreal? It's just programmed to a different VR chip or whatever. Who cares? But basically, it kind of it plays off of a foretelling type of thing as well. So we can see Avienda go through it a little bit. We can see Moraine go through it a little bit. And those would be our two kind of eyes that are going to be able to see those kind of things. So we could get glimpses of those. I don't think we would get like full accepted test naive episode stuff, but we might get flashes, glimpses, things that could be, things that can't be, all the things that they see in there. But I feel like that and Elida are kind of our best chances for getting more prophecy into the show and bringing up prophecy more outside of and we also have Varen's popping around. She seems to like those two, so I'm sure we're gonna hear more from her. And Rand, if he starts reading books about prophecies like he does
He
at this
did.
point
Yeah.
in his development. I wouldn't be surprised if either he's well read by the time we see him again, or we see a couple set dressing scenes where he's like got a book cracked, just kind of chilling, something like that, or people interrupt him in his room while he's reading, something like that. But I think that pre-existing prophecies will be relevant, new ones will be popping up, and those will be the most suspect ones from like the viewer perspective. Will be like, oh, these new ones, there's got to be something to them. But then, of course, the other ones can have their own twists too. So
Yeah, no, I think there's many ways they can definitely, use Elida, use Min to serve those purposes.
Min,
and,
of course, I didn't even say Min.
Yeah, and I think it would be awesome if they do that. I'm trying to find that. I actually listened to Rafe saying, talking about that room.
Oh, it's a JordanCon video. Isn't it?
Yeah. I'm trying to find it specifically in there, but I thought I listened to it like 4 or 5 times, and I almost thought the words are important, and it almost seems like he ends up saying that it's just like it's going to be the same room. Yeah, instead of a set used for a different room. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'll try to find it, but I wasn't able to find it just then. I like how there it is. Yeah, Adina Lou said like Loyal could bring up prophecy, right? Like
True.
there's many ways that they can do it, and I think they need to kind of do that. I also saw you and Noman Gordon say Latra was not mentioned on the in the books, and yes, totally. I think
I confirm
the fact that they're using that it's really good. I think that's really yes, professional exposition dumper. That's who Loyal is for sure. Loyal spills the tea. Yeah, exactly. I think that's kind of the main things that I wanted to mention. The other couple of kind of news that came out here. Let me make sure I can show this okay here. Let's see. Yeah. So Hamed Animashan, who plays Loyal, won the Royal Television Society Award in the category of comedic performance, male, for his role in Black Ops. I have not seen Black Ops. I don't know if anyone here has, but congrats to Hamed for that. Was also the VFX nomination at the BAFTAs for The Wheel of Time Season 2. So, wonderful people who've done amazing work. It'd be good to see, maybe hopefully when the Emmys and other awards season comes by the next time, to see the costumes and some of the actors and other crew getting hopefully nominated, and maybe even winning. You never know. But especially the costume and VFX, amazing stuff by the cast. And based on this, it's going to be even bigger. Right?
That's a wrap on season 3.
That is a wrap on season 3.
That's a wrap on season 3.
And I'm very, very excited for the audience to see it.
It's going to be big.
Right? It's going to be big. It's promised.
Yosha makes me laugh because he's like, you could
He's
tell
going-
they cut him off. He's going off. He's like spilling out spoilers. They're gonna see the dragon. They're gonna see the blah, blah, and there's like, all right, cut.
I'm very excited to people to see these tats right here.
Oh, he's so funny.
That's what he's gonna. But oh wow, people. I didn't even make this, but that's a Ludra that is making is in your background.
Yeah,
Penny for sure. I can't wait to see season 3 costumes. I think I agree. It is so sure that what's happening here. I feel like my stream to Twitter is messing up, so I'm just gonna shut that off and make sure things are looking okay. Any other thoughts about news? Anything else? I didn't have anything else within that. Those two articles from there was a mention of like how long the shooting days were, so I can probably show that. And this, I don't know what this means, but
it's just figures for us spreadsheet nerds.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this is just went into a something that I looked at and I was like, okay. But yeah, so shooting days for season 1 was 145 days. Season 2 was 156 days, and season 3 is 176 days. Based on this, what do you think the number of days will be for season 3? So write that down. 1 was 145, 2 was 156, 3 was 176. What do you think the number of days, shooting days, would be for season 4? All right.
I'm just plotting the line graph in my chart.
Exactly.
Yeah, this is the next one should be a plus about 31, so it's probably 207 days.
207. Okay. All right.
Plotted in that line graph.
207. Good.
That means season 8 is going to be like 612 days.
Yeah. We have to worry about outliers and how much the strike impacted. Things that they had to reshoot. I'll be a bit more conservative. So what was the last one for season 3?
176.
I'll go a little bit more modest, and I'll say 197.
197. Okay. All right.
Weeks.
Okay. So you're staying with that 20-day margin plus 1, so 21 days. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. I was gonna go for an even 24 days, and make it 200 days, or even 23 and make it.
Are we doing Prices Right rules? I'll go with
200 days of what? I guess.
It takes one day to shoot season 4.
No.
Yeah, I mean, again, we don't know how many episodes there will be, right? If there are less episodes, there's less
true.
time,
It'll be one
right?
episode.
Yeah, so that's the...
It's a movie.
Could just
Surprise.
be Rand and Moraine in the studio talking to each other for 50 minutes, and that's season 4.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I think that's, that was pretty much most of the things that the last week we've had. Not much else that I have in terms of news. So let me show you this last kind
Honest Grace is asking a very important question. Did you get my Prices Right reference?
I'm trying to. I'm forgetting the host's name right now.
It's not about the host.
He doesn't get it. Okay, never mind. Moving along.
No, but I know that. I know. Like the show. Like, is there more?
Do you know
to
the
it
rules?
than the game? Yeah. I mean, I don't remember the rules, but like, I know there was like I used to watch it.
The way to game it is like if someone, whatever the person ahead of you says, you say like $1 less, because like it's like whoever is the closest without going over or something like that.
More.
So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, or $1 more. Yeah. So it's like so like by saying 1, if we're over, then
Right.
Brian wins. So
Okay. All right.
There you go.
This is cool. Yeah, sure.
Play smart,
Sure.
not hard.
Yeah. Let's see. There was one other thing I was
That's
gonna.
true.
Oh yes.
The hexadecimal equivalents. Patrick Lightbody, he's right. We haven't talked about all
That's
my
true.
clues recently. Yeah.
Yes. I haven't had much more fodder or more. It's been quite light from the Twitter account.
When's the last time I did that? Yeah, I did that when they posted the.
You had an
when
update.
They posted the thing. Yeah, I had an update.
Yeah.
It's I had initially guessed around JordanCon because that was before I knew how long it was going to be till wrap, but I kind of more placed it around May, June for season 4 being greenlit. That gives the execs enough time to look it over. I assume that basically they're going to wait to watch and see if they like what they see, like they have in the past, before they give it a thumbs up for 4. So, a couple months. Originally I said JordanCon. I don't think that we're going to get that at JordanCon now. So I would say around May, June, maybe if it goes
for
a little
greenlight.
high,
Yeah, I think it'd be safe to do it at San Diego Comic-Con, right? If they're doing a big Amazon Rings of Power trailer or something, which I think might make sense for them, if they do that and they're like, okay, this and also this other show we have and it's season 4, like I just feel like that might make sense to have the traction. I don't know if that's how they did one Amazon Prime Rings of Power Wheel of Time. I think it was that one 2 years ago where they did a joint kind of thing. At New York Comic Con, Wheel of Time has its own, I think, thing. I forget exactly how it worked, but I remember
that was when it got the green light, right? It was at the San Diego one.
Yeah, 2 years ago. So the glass columns, that's one, Wheel of Time Reflection, and the last one, which I think a lot of people who are not stan of Elida, we'll do a Wheel of Time character deep dive, looking at why Elida is so important to the Wheel of Time and why she works so well as a character and pushes the buttons of many different characters and pushes the plot forward. So we'll look at our one of maybe people's favorite Red Aja sister.
Not race.
Talk about not race. That is true. Although maybe he'll change his mind after he sees. Yeah. Let's see. I think that's probably it. I'll probably start our raffle for tonight. It's exclamation point raffle, a giveaway for a Dusty Wheel mug. I've kind of decided until Innkeeper Hatch comes back, I'll still keep giving away physical mugs, and then once he's back, I'll just start doing our swag kind of gift card giveaway. So that's how I'm playing it. So if he comes back in July, that is. I'm just saying July. That's what I'm gonna go for. July, and then I'll change. So yeah, put that in chat.
He's like in the sabbatical. He's doing well.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's
good.
Yeah. He's. It's funny. Like he's like, I'm like,
He
hey,
was at my house last week for a whole week, so I think he's having a good time.
Well, I mean, for me, all I get is like my weekly butt rock on Threefold Talk. That's the only Matt Hatch I get until he's back. So and that's all I want.
Yeah. He showed up for the first time at a show 2 weeks ago, where before we started there was a poll that I said, hey, do you think we'll see, I had John and Lauren on, and I was like, hey, will we see all members of the village council on the show tonight? And people were like, what, Matt's gonna be here? And he was not there, but he showed up in chat for like a minute, and he said that was the first time he showed up in the last 3 months or something. And
he was telling me about that last week.
Nice.
It was pretty crazy.
I'm proud of him.
Yeah,
it's hard.
It's definitely. It's not. It's easier once you're in it, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
I think to actually make that inertia change is probably the hardest thing. Yeah. So
I can say that he's replaced his fixation on the Dusty Wheel with a fixation on something else, and so he's having a great time just doing not this.
Yeah, I mean, there's always like it's very surprisingly easy to fill up your time and be like, where did the time go, right? Yeah, no, he gave me a couple of analogies of how he views the Dusty Wheel, and it was something about how your child moves out going to college, and that's how it feels. Like,
so he's at college right now.
Right? No.
And the Dusty Wheel is at home still with you.
Exactly. So he's like, I think about it. It's in the back of my mind, but I don't have to like feed it every day.
Oh yeah, he's definitely the college kid in this scenario. Yeah.
So that's the analogy that is on. All right. I see people putting it in there. Let's give it another minute, and then we can end for our for tonight. Kevin, how was I saw the 10 amazing behind the scene photos from Glory to Perrin. That was awesome. How was the stream on Sunday? Sitting down for a period of time talking about the cast. Been a lot of fun.
It's fun. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's you know, I've always had a lot of respect for those long streams, but man, when you're in them, you don't feel it,
You don't
but
feel it. Yeah.
the second that you're out off, it like all comes crashing down. So like my Sundays after that are just shot. But
Yeah.
it's so much fun to do, and it's like I get to have a monthly rewatch basically, but like I get to do the thing I've always wanted to do with the books, where I just chop out all the other chapters
Right.
and just read one character. So
Mm-hmm.
it's really fun, and we get to have fun. I'll have a different hat to get me in the mind of the character every time.
Right.
I had like a pair of sunshine star shades for Perrin this time. So
Yeah. Yeah. I saw that.
I get to get really get into it and have a lot of fun. And man, all the people that I'm sure you experience it too. You bring on new people all the time from the community who have never had a chance to have a voice, and just to hear people who you've only talked with online, get to talk about the show for the first time. It's like a really priceless thing. It kind of feels like being at conventions in that way,
Yes.
where you get to
Yeah.
talk to people you've never talked to
Yeah.
for the first time, actually talk to them. So
Right.
it's really great.
Yeah. I think that's the great thing within our community here, and doing all these amazing things from a creation live stream standpoint, that people are able to come together and just chat about the things we love.
Yeah.
And yes, there is an Elaine stream that you can watch that is looking at all of her stuff. So I think, let's see here. Yeah, I think there's enough people there that have I don't see it anymore, so let me see if I can. Oh, good. Yep, I see it there. I'm going to close entries here and pick a winner. And our winner for tonight is Jen K042. That's how I'm going to say it, or DJ in K042. Congratulations. You have won a Destinyable mug. Reach out to me on Discord, on Twitter, and I'll be in touch. I'll get you the information of how to get that to you. It might be a little bit a while. I usually batch them up and send them. Not actually batch them up. It's just carve out a certain amount of time to to sit down and do that. So congratulations.
Don't hold your breath.
Yeah. Exactly.
You'll get it. You will get it.
Yes, it eventually arrives. That's thanks for saying that. All right, the both of you, any parting thoughts, Brian?
Yeah, I'm pretty stoked about season 3, and I can't wait for it to come out in about 6 weeks now that filming is wrapped. Really looking forward to it.
All right, Kevin, what about you? Anything, what are your hopes and predictions, and what do you think is going to be the outstanding thing for season 3? What's going to be really big? What is Daniel Henney talking about?
Daniel Henney cannot stop talking about the scene where they kill Maxim in the Two Rivers. Like, he can't stop talking about it. And it's gonna be a heartbreaker. That's gonna be that was the death Rafe was talking about. It's not about Moraine or nobody else.
Yeah.
It's poor Maxim getting kicking the bucket in the Battle of the Two Rivers. So that's gonna be the big moment. Daniel Henney can't stop talking about it. But I also think that since the show's done wrapped filming, can't wait to watch it in 5 weeks.
Price is Right rules. You got this, man.
Yeah.
5 weeks time, post-production, like, who needs that? I mean, it's the desert. There's nothing.
Yeah, what could you really need? Just reuse the VFX from the previous season.
Yes.
It works that way.
It's the
right?
same weaves.
It'll just be like a silent film where it just cuts to text that says Fireball, and then goes back to the man.
Or they show the characters and they show the colors of the thing, so it's like they're just watching it happen.
Batman.
Yeah. All right, let's see. All right, thank you both for joining. I don't think I'm going to do a show next week unless there's news and rumors that appeal, and then I will. I see. Sorry, I'm looking at. I think Discord either is better. Sometimes Twitter can be a little bit less reliable, so Discord would be the best place if you have not. All right, so yeah, if you can't, in any Discord channel, reach out to me there, and I would be I'll get in touch with you. All right, thank you both for providing the great marvels that you've provided tonight, Brian. Great to see you back at the end. Kevin, great to see you always. And everyone, as we say around here, good night from the Dusty Wheel, and smash the black.
Welcome to the Dusty Wheel.
Hey, welcome back to the Dusty Wheel. You went right to kill it. Look at you, you're all ready. You're just done. I mean, this is like this is
really well. And now I'm like, great, my turn.
And if you don't like that, and you want to say, well, Robert Jordan could have made the two rivers all white. He could have, but he didn't. So
Just complimented me on my dress, and as you can clearly see, I'm
sad.
not
I see Lucomi as something along the lines of a Shadow Haran analog.
It does make sense why it outlasted the breaking.
Yeah.
See, this is why I have Therese in the show, because she's going to correct everything that.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Dusty Wheel Show. What? Meme-Off Challenge! Yay!
Pair of like baby face mounted on like a huge body. So like all of a sudden,
this is not just a traditional fantasy, right? There are sci-fi
and
elements.
Just a moment ago, Rafe tweeted something. So let me get my guest in here with me, and
probably I would say put in 70-80% of the work. I got to be over the shoulder and be like, no,